Yo guys, what is going on? Blossom is back, and welcome back to another episode. I don't even know what episode we're on. Episode maybe 11 or 12. We've done a couple of these now, but welcome back to another episode of Garage Review. Today I'm back with two new garages. It's been a while. The last couple of garage episodes we've been doing one garage. Well, I'm back with two nice garages today. So, starting us off is actually quite a new garage. We haven't seen me review one of these before. We've been reviewing, I think we've been going from medium-sized garages to maybe semi-small ones to very big pay-to-win garages. But this one's actually a very small garage. I feel like this player started pretty recently. RQ97, not even 100, and has 190 trophies. So with that said, I have notes nonetheless. If you want them, well, I will be sending them to both of you on Instagram. And also, if you're interested, if you want to submit your garage, the link is down in the description below. The wait list is very long though. I have about, I think, like 60 garages to review, and they don't come out very fast, these episodes, because I don't want to overload the channel with the same thing. But if you do want to rush and have me rate your garage as soon as possible, there are options to let you do that. Anyway, let's begin with this 190 trophy garage. The player in question, her name or his name is Carzilla. The only reason why I say her is because that doesn't look like a dude in the profile picture over there, but if it is, then oops. It's just my own assumption, but we will start off. So, as we can see straight off the bat, you have two uncommons and two rares. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you kind of like a good starter kit of cars to collect. Now, I know a lot of advanced players watch these videos as well, so I want to say, take my advice with, you know, the consideration that this is a very, very small garage. So I'm not gonna name 10 uncommons or 10 commons. These are what I think are some of the most basic commons and uncommons and rares even that every player should get. So, starting off with the commons that you should look out for, and these are the only commons you should really look out for if you don't plan on getting any slots soon. And I should have said in the start that the overlining priority about your garage, especially if you plan to go further, is to invest in slots. Even if you're free to play, you don't need to buy gold, just don't buy carbon fibers. At your stage, at 97 RQ and 190 trophies, you don't need to get carbon fibers, right? So kind of just focus on slots. Just focus on slots to get a well-rounded, versatile garage. So these are the commons that I recommend. RQ3, get the Pontiac Trans Am. RQ4, get the Honda Beat. RQ5, get the Alfa Romeo 2600 SZ. And RQ6, get the Ford Escort RS 1600, the Fiat Panda 4x4, and the Renault Fuego Turbo. So you have one car for the drags, one car for the city streets, and then one car for kind of the semi-off-road events. Yeah, and if you max out the Renault Fuego Turbo, you don't necessarily have to get the RQ5 2600 Alpha, just not yet, especially when it comes down to the basics of the basics. Moving on to the uncommons, we don't need to scroll much in this video. It's a 30-second video, very easy. For the uncommons, I'd recommend RQ7, throw that out of the window. There are no super key RQ7s I would recommend. RQ8, get the DS5. Another RQ8 car would be the AutoZam. AutoZam, DS5, they come hand in hand. They're both standard tires, they're both super light. AutoZam hits 87 handling, and the DS9 hits 89. RQ9, the Renault Twizy, and RQ10, the Eunice Roadster. The two current uncommons that you have, the Sylvia and the Grandis, just throw them away. Don't sell them, just fuse it into a rare. Right, just fuse it into a rare, get one more uncommon, fuse it into a rare. Those two uncommons, I've never seen anybody use them, to be honest. So, moving on to your rares, I did not give you, oh wait, no I did. I did give you some rare recommendations, but honestly, looking at your rares now, first of all, the Chrysler Prowler is useless, throw it away. You can sell it for 1K or put it into a super rare, whatever you want to do with it, but yeah, it's not going to help you in the long run. Cars, however, the Skyline, the Volvo 850, and the Lotus Elise are all very useful. In fact, you already have the Elise maxed out. It looks like 699. I would recommend 969 for the lower ranks. But still, you know, at your stage, a max rare is a great car, especially a key car like that. I would also recommend maxing out the Skyline and the Volvo 850. Two rares upon these, even though I think for youth, maxing out the two other rares would be a pretty intermediate task in itself. But some rares for you to look out for in the future is indeed the RQ13 BBR Turbo, one of my favorite rares in the game, and the RQ11 Caterham 7160. It's a great standard tire, super light car, decent grip, low RQ. It'll be really good for even the campaign in your situation. But let's move on to the super rares now. Super rares, okay. What I'm gonna say is keep the ELR and keep all these cars I've listed. So keep the Mazda Jota, the Mitsubishi Montero, Cadillac ELR, which you need to max out, 969. Keep the Scirocco, the XL7. The XL7 is not that great. The only reason I say keep it is because you already have it maxed out. Suzuki Swift Rally, Roof R56.11, BMW Z4, and the Audi Quattro. Those are all the super rares I would recommend you to keep. Everything else, fuse. Just fuse everything else. The ZR2 Corvette, I love that car, but it's just not the best anymore. You have the new RQ17 Lamborghini Miura, which is better, and then when it comes to RQ18, you have cars like the D-Type, but that isn't even the best. What is the best RQ18 drag super? That is a question for you guys to let me know in the comments, I would say, because the Superbird used to be 18, it's not 18 anymore. I guess it could be the D-Type. So, I mean, yes, I could add the D-Type to that list of cars to keep. Is there a better drag RQ18 Super? Let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, I would say keep the D-Type, but then everything else, you can just axe. Which gives you quite a bit of fuse material after axing every car I did not name, which brings us to the Ultras. So what Ultras should you max? Very simple. Lotus Elise Sport 135, max at 699. Honestly, the 969 version is not bad as well, but I would recommend 699 for your first one, and then max out the Chevrolet Trailblazer SS from the campaign RQ20 996. It's great for basically off-road drags, off-road hill climbs, and that's really all you're going to use it for. Also, here's a pretty controversial one, right? In my eyes, there are 3 ultra rares that you can get rid of. I think everybody will agree. BMW M3, Chevrolet Camaro convertible. Next one, though, not everybody would agree with, but I would get rid of the BMW 718 Cayman. It's not a bad car, but if you really want to put a fuse into your Camaro Z28 right now, at this instant, you can get rid of these 3 cars, the M3, the Camaro, and the Z8 718, and put it into the Camaro Z28 to make it 363. 363, okay, or 121. So basically, put a fuse into the middle option. I would keep the GMC Terrain because honestly, for your rank, if you have a max GMC Terrain and a max Chevrolet Trailblazer SS, you actually have a very strong off-road hand for your RQ. But with that said, obviously there are a bunch of Ultras you need to get. You haven't even finished a campaign, I think, because you don't have the 12C yet, which is fine because in the campaign you will get more Ultra rares from the prizes, if it still stays the same from when I finished the campaign almost 2 years ago. But with that said, you know, if you get those new Ultra rares, then yes, in a way, you can keep the 718 as well. But if you find yourself in a rush to put an upgrade to the Z28, the 718, M3, and Camaro would be what I get rid of. But honestly, like I said, I don't think at your stage of RQ you won't find yourself in a rush. So yeah, fuse the Camaro, fuse the M3, keep, you know, the other 4 Ultras unless you're in a rush. Get rid of the 718. If not, just wait till you finish the campaign where you get more Ultras to put a fuse into the Z28. And if you do get another epic, well, just DM me on Instagram, tell me what epic you got, and I'll tell you if it's useful or not. So that is the garage. That is the smallest garage we've ever seen, so expect low scores. I've already put the scores in actually to save some time. So Carzilla, here are your scores. Blossom score and uniqueness, I gave you an 8, which is your highest, because really, out of all the garages I've reviewed, this is really small. It's been the smallest garage I've seen in a very long time as well. But it's nice to know that you are very invested into the game, or at least you enjoy playing it. Patriotism is 3, you know, nothing going on there. Honestly, should give it 2. Character is 5, just because, you know, it has character for being small. It's kind of like a Honda Beat. You know, everybody loves it because it's small. Your garage isn't godly like a Honda Beat, though, I have to be honest. Total score gives a 16. Moving on to the top drive scale, the scale is a 1. It's a tiny garage, but like I said, prioritize your slots. Get more slots. Strength is 2. Nothing much to say there. Honestly, I'll bump it up to the 3 if you put a fuse into the Z28. Once you get a 3rd Ultra worth getting rid of. And also maxing out your Ultras. Versatility is a 3. Lethal level is once again a 2, because not a lot of cars are maxed out. And then potential is a 3. I usually give super high scores for potential, because as you can see, 8, 8, 7, 8, 9, 9, 7, 7. So why is this potential score so low? It's because you don't have slots. There's not a lot of place for your garage to grow. But if you get more slots, hey, it'll be a lot stronger. Anyway, let's move on to the next garage. Here we have a garage from, gotta turn the notes around now, from Mick. Mick, he is a 25-year-old from the south of Germany. He owns 2 E46 BMWs, a 318 that he uses for the winter, and a 330i that he uses for the summer. He actually gave me kind of like a whole backstory of his life in his garage, but I really don't have the time to go through all of that. But if Mick, when you're watching, I just want to say I did read all of it. I appreciated the time that you put into it to send me those messages. Here's a little brief notice about his account. He started in the summer of 2017, so very, very early as I did, and he was a free-to-play. Unfortunately, I think he got a new phone or something like that, and he lost his account, and Hutch couldn't get it back for him. Which is why I cannot recommend enough, please link your Facebook to your Top Drives account so it is saved on your Facebook instead of your phone, so you can get it back if you get a new phone. But yeah, during PL8 he lost that account, so he started a new one. So this one we're reviewing today is about 300 days old, and because he's been playing catch up, after losing the first account, he is not a free to play anymore, and he has told me he has put money into this account. So this is a long video. He sent me a 7-minute video, so we're going to be skipping here and there just to save some time. So we're just going to go through about here. We're going to skip all the commons, but here are the notes I have for the commons. Right, you have you need to, if you want, you can get an RQ3 Biposto, Italian Renaissance dragster. It is better than the GMC Caballero. And RQ5, I would recommend you maxing out your Alfa Romeo 2600 SZ. And then for RQ6, I would say please get or max out, or please get and max out a Ford Escort RS 1600. It's a great car. It used to be uncommon. It was one of the weakest uncommons, but now it makes it one of the strongest commons. So honestly, it's a great car to have. So moving on to the uncommons, I'm just gonna let this roll. Right, I'm just gonna let this roll. Here's the overarching theme of this garage. It's a massive garage. It's huge. It's a massive garage, but not a lot of the cars are actually maxed out. He knows what his key cars are as well, as you can see here. You know, 2 AutoZams, but none of them are maxed out. But he knows that's a key car because he has 2 of them. Same with the Twizy. Well, actually, Twizy's a bit different. He has 2 maxed out Twizys. But we'll see this as an overarching theme. He has duplicates of key cars. And yeah, here's the only note I have for uncommon is RQ9 maxed out that S10 Blazer Extreme. But yeah, the overarching theme, like I said, I've said overarching 3 times, I'm gonna stop now, is that he knows what the key cars are, and he has multiple of them, but they aren't maxed out. So I'm not gonna give too much of a critique on that, because obviously you already know what is important, what is not important. The only thing that I will say is, I would say instead of maxing out a variety, there's a difference of maxing out a variety and collecting a variety. Collecting a variety is just getting a massive garage. Maxing out a variety is maxing out all the cars that you collect. When it comes to maxing things out, I would say just max out the duplicate key cars, and you can keep the variety for just having a variety if you want it. But honestly, having having every car, every uncommon in the game is really not key to in-game performance and how lethal you can be, because at the end of the day, the key cars are basically the backbone of the game. Moving on to rare though, RQ11 max out your Leone, and then RQ14 max out the Maserati Ghibli SS. And then obviously, like I said earlier, and I wrote it in my notes, just max out your key duplicates. You'll already know what they are. The Ghibli SS, very nice car. We're just going to skip to see if we can see that. We see it right here in the corner. The Ghibli SS, currently at no stars, so I would say max it out 996. Amazing, amazing dragster. So, moving on to super rares now. Super rares, once again, we see this a lot in a lot of garages I review. Very strong start. Always, you know, these kind of medium to large size garages always have a very strong start. Very nice. A lot of uncommons, a lot of commons, a lot of rares, a lot of super rares, a lot of those key cars max. Very nice to see. I guess that is a common strategy in the game now, to have a very strong low RQ hand. It was a bit different from how I started out, because when I started out, I kind of put all my resources into ultras and epics, and I had like no commons and uncommons. That has changed now though. My lower RQ deck has improved a lot. So we've been seeing this garage, seeing how big it is, you know. Basically, it really looks like he has virtually every car in the game. That's the 330i that I believe that you have. But the super rare, once again, here are the notes I have. Max out the RQ18 Renault Clio Cup car of the Slicks. It's very good. Very good handling. Very, very good handling. But it's a very ugly car in my opinion, so that's why I don't have one. And then max and get an RQ18 Mitsubishi Outlander. I've learned recently that that is one of the best super rare off-roaders in the game. And the reason why I was proud to say get the Mitsubishi Outlander is because when I was looking at the lower ranks of your garage, I was like, get this, get that. But then I look in your garage and you already have it, you know, like you do have a lot of key cars. Then I said, okay, how about the Outlander? Does he have the Outlander? Then I looked in the garage, I double checked RQ18, and I checked this part in particular because this is where all the cars that start with M are, right? We see Mini, we see Mercedes, Mazda, no Mitsubishi though. So I finally caught one. Get the Mitsubishi Outlander RQ18. It's a great car. Max it out. I'm actually maxing my own out right now as you speak. Heads about 85 handling. I think 9.9 0 to 60. I actually don't know what the 0 to 60 is, but it's not the greatest, but it has amazing handling for an RQ15 off-roader. So we find ourselves in the ultra rare ranks now, and we start off with indeed the Lamborghini Countach LP400 from 1974. Max that baby out. 996. Amazing MRA. I love that. Also known as the Thanos Lamborghini. Other notes is, okay, well, we're just gonna let this run because I've already identified the key cars that you should max, and I have to say, so many fuse material. This garage is honestly a cesspool of fuse material. But here, I want to go through a different segment and tell you what cars you should fuse. So I'm going to say what cars you should max first, and then we're going to see them down the line. So max the Countach LP400, the RQ21, max the TCR, RQ22, max your Tamora, max a second Porsche Rally 924, max a second Colorado ZR2, and max the BMW M6, the BMW 330d Touring, and finish off your X1 because that's 2 stars right now, and then max the Fiat 030 Rally. So I know in your notes you told me that you only want to fuse duplicates. Okay, fine. But if you do change your mind, let me tell you how many cars you have as potential fuse. You can fuse that QX50, the Ford Taurus, you can fuse the DS7 Crossback. You have a maxed out Crossfire. Wow, that is unique. You can fuse the Z28 SS, the Cobalt SS, the X3 X-Drive, the BMW 650i, the 540i, the 435i, the 530d, the 625. Oh wait, I just realized something. This is a really patriotic garage. You love BMW. You told me that in the notes. Okay, never mind. I know you're not gonna fuse those BMWs then. But you could max the Chimera, the Tribeca. Both of the are at Roof Turbo 3.3s because honestly they have a beautiful picture, but it's a really bad car. You could fuse the 911 Carrera, the Juke Nismo, the Pathfinder, the 370Z, the Outlander, the S350, the E430, one of the Cosmos. I do love the Cosmo though. You could fuse the Spider, you could fuse the Delta Integrale, the XJR, the Ford Sierra RS500. I would say don't fuse. I actually think that car might be pretty useful. I want one myself so I can max it out just to confirm. You can fuse what? Never mind. I'm not even gonna say you can fuse the M3, the BMWs. You are a BMW collector, I respect that. I'm gonna leave it as it is. You can fuse the Golf R32, the Touareg, you can fuse the Insignia, the Sibera Speed 6 911 Turbo. You get the point. There are a lot of cars here that you can fuse, although you said in your notes already that you only want to fuse duplicates. With that said, you can fuse the Stealth. You don't need 2 Stealths. Unless you're me, then yes, I want 2 Stealths. But yeah, just, woo! A lot of fuse material. I would say, you know, loosen up on the whole, if it's not a duplicate, I won't fuse it kind of thing, because there are some very, very, very useless cars as well. You can fuse the SLC 43, you don't need the second one. Well, actually, is your first SLC 43 699? Oh, it's 996. Okay, never mind, keep the SLC 43 so you can 699 that. But let's see what else you got. Carlton's a good one. I'll keep the Carlton. I love Ultra Rares. Ultra Rares is my specialty. It's where I spend the most of my time and most of my upgrades and all that resources. Super Rares and all. But yeah, that's about it. A lot of fuse material. Fuse the Audi S6 too. You don't need the Audi S6. S1 and S4 you can keep. But yeah, woo, a lot of fuse material. So let's move on to the epics now. Once again, I know, if you're only going to listen to the ones I say fuse for the duplicates that you have, then it's fine. That's fine as well. I understand that. But I'm just saying, if you moved away from the duplicates, you would have a lot of fuse material, my friend. Moving on to epics though. Fuse the Volkswagen Golf, the Tucson, the 911 Carrera S, the Benz SL500, the Lotus Elise Sport 350, the Infiniti G35. So many fuse material, oh my god. I know you want to keep that variety, bro, and I respect that, but god, it hurts to see so many crappy epics. I'm not roasting you. I mean, I kind of am, but I mean, I applaud your amazing huge garage at the same time. As I see, you're putting fuses into the Banana. Obviously, max out the Banana. That's a great car, $699. So, the first epic I would recommend you to max out is the 1990 Diablo. You have 2 of those, so I would recommend maxing out 1996. It's an amazing dragster, that, and you have enough Ultra Rares to max it out in a heartbeat. Another epic I would recommend you to max out is indeed the BMW 740D. Standard tire one. It's not the. It used to be one of the best standard tire cars in the game. It was, in fact, it was the second best standard tire car in the game, behind the CT6. But then, you know, German Renaissance brought in a bunch of new, amazing BMW standard tire 4-wheel drive, medium ground clearance cars. But with that said, the 740D is still very useful. I have it maxed out, and it's still very useful in my garage. Finally, I mean, honestly, do not fuse your duplicate 911 GT3 RS. It's an amazing car. You could fuse your second 911 Carrera S, though, since you have already 2 of the GT3 RSs. Don't fuse any of your Mitsubishi Lancer Evos. Those cars are lifesavers, honestly. Honestly, if I were you, I would max out the second one. In fact, I might max out my second one. Obviously, he shows the wide body because he knows that I'm looking at it, and that is the last thing I want to say, you know, well, actually, penultimate thing I want to say. You can max out your wide body, not a priority, but still, wide body is an amazing car, and I would 699 that. It is the best fast circuit epic American car, I believe, or at least muscle car / Dodge. But yeah, moving on to the legendaries. So 2 things I want to say. A lot of these legendaries, you've already put 1 fuse into it. But if you want to get rid of your 3 epics, I would say put a fuse into the Porsche 935 Moby Dick. You have one already at 633. But if I were you, I would make it 636. Right? 12C, it's 363 as you said, so I'm not going to talk much about that. And then the last thing I want to say is the McLaren 675 LC. You currently have that at what? I didn't write it down, but I think it was like 3. It was 339, I think. And you know, you could either wait for a Bugatti or wait for like an amazing prize car like the 918 redo 3 times, or the P1 GTR or something like that. But if you don't want to wait and you want to max out legendary, the 675 LT is not a bad one to max out. Amazing, amazing car. And then once again, you have 2 Audi TT RS plus coupes. I would say don't keep the second one. You can fuse the second one as well. I just want to do a quick recap on the cars here, because I know you specifically asked me to see what epics you want to fuse, but then you only wanted me to tell you the duplicate ones. I'm not going to say those BMWs because I feel like you're collecting them. you could get rid of one of the F-type convertibles, but keep one. Definitely keep one. But you could definitely get rid of one of those. But that's about it, though. That is about it when it comes to your duplicate epics. Anyway, let's get to your Garage Core. I've already put it down, but I'm gonna do a little change. The Patriotism, I initially gave you an 8, but that was before I realized like the sheer amount of BMWs that you have. So I'm changing that 8 to a 10, so that to 23, and your total score to a 64. So if you want to pause and look at your scores, yeah, you can go ahead. But you know, all in all, very decent. I would say a very mid-tier garage, but a very strong mid-tier garage. In the Blossom scores, we have 6, 10, 7, making up 23. And in the top drive scale, in the top drive score, we have 10, 6, 8, 7, 10, which gives us a total of 41 and a total of 64. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Garage Review. These videos take a long time to make because I have to go through your garages multiple times and take notes, then record, then edit, then render, and post. So they don't come up as frequent as I would say other videos, but they do come out nonetheless. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Blossom out and consider subscribing.